What's going on, guys? What's going on, Thai Squad? What's going on, everybody? So, so the third round of the NFL draft was interesting. This draft is interesting for two reasons. The draft is interesting because we have seen Shedeur Sanders falling out of the first round, of the second round, and now the third round, and now probably about to get drafted in the fourth round today. I would say this is that Shedeur Sanders, he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. No matter what Shedeur Sanders does, and let me get the elephant out of the room. All of these quarterbacks and all of these players that just got drafted, I hope that they have amazing careers. I hope they have amazing career. Like we saw the Browns trade down to get Mason Graham, and Jacksonville trade up to get Travis Hunter. We seen that. We seen we seen we seen Shedeur Sanders fall all the way to the fourth round. I think that with Shedeur Sanders falling in the fourth, falling all the way down, let's not forget Tom Brady fell. Tom Brady was a six-time champion, a six-time, seven-time championship, won 6 and 7 championships coming out of the sixth round. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget Lamar Jackson being the 32 pick overall in the late first round. Let's not forget Jalen Hurts, who won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. That won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Let's not forget him coming out of the second round. Let's not forget about Aaron Rodgers. Let's not forget about Aaron Rodgers, who came out of the second round. Let's not forget about Aaron Rodgers, who was waiting to hear his name called. I am going to say this, is that the way that the NFL, the way that this draft has turned out, it is going to it is going to possibly be probably like coming into this draft, going into the college football season, and now coming into this draft, seeing Shedeur Sanders fall all the way down. The Browns had a chance to pick him. And I know I'm about to get off topic here, but the Browns had a legit chance to pick Shedeur Sanders, and they chose a guy. They chose Gafford from Oregon, who let me get the elephant out of the room. Let me rephrase that. I think that Gafford is going Gafford is almost like a a um a glue guy like GTR was for the Browns, where if he turn if where he will probably be the third quarterback on the Browns roster, because the fourth or third quarterback on the Browns roster, because you have you have to say you would have to say you would have to say that the Browns made a lot of picks. They got Quinn. They got Quinn from Ohio State, a champion who won a national championship in Ohio State. They, the Browns has made. Let me say this: my Browns have made a lot of good picks so far, but let me get the elephant out of the room. If I was the Browns GM, I would take Shedeur Sanders. And the Browns do have a pick here where they can go and say, okay, let's take a fourth quarterback. Let's take a fourth quarterback here. Because what you're basically saying is that the Steelers passed up on Shedeur Sanders. The Bengals, the Packers, the Titans, the Browns passed on them twice. Which getting Mason Graham for the 5th overall pick, I'm okay with that. Drafting the running back from Ohio State, who I'm going to call Clinton from Ohio State, who won a national championship. I'm going to say this. It's that Ohio State, I'm going to say this. I don't know why every team, let me rephrase that, because I know I just talked about Ohio State just a minute ago. I don't know why every team has passed on Shedeur Sanders. He's probably the best draftee right now on every draft board, because we've seen the trade between the Browns and Jacksonville for Travis Hunter going to Jacksonville. With Travis Hunter going to Jacksonville, that's going to lead the Jacksonville Jaguars, because now you got a two-way player in Travis Hunter. And the last time we seen a player similar to that was Shedeur Sanders. Because Travis Hunter, he has the Heisman. He played with Shedeur Sanders. He played with Shedeur Sanders. He was coached by a Hall of Famer coach and Deion Sanders. He went to Jackson State first, and then transferred to Colorado, and then fall, and then transferred to Colorado. I would say this: if the Browns got Travis Hunter instead of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I know I'm getting off topic about my Browns here because this is like this draft has been kind of a interesting draft because we didn't know that Shedeur Sanders would fall all the way down to the 4th round, down to the 7th round. Because when we look at the quarterbacks that are in the NFL right now, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. When we look at that and we say that this draft, when we're going to look back at it, like I said before, Shedeur Sanders is probably the best draftee right now on the draft board. You have to take him. Like we all knew that Cam Ward was going to go number 1 to the Texans, which I think Cam Ward will have an amazing career with the Houston Texans. My thing is about it is how is this team like my Browns has made a lot of picks. Like getting the Ohio State running back, getting Mason Graham, getting guys on defense. But we drafted a quarterback as well. I think Shedeur Sanders will get drafted or get on an NFL team. But back to what I have to say about Cam Ward. Is that Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders were the 2 hype players talked about. And this draft has been an interesting draft. And we don't know how long it is going to take for all of these players that got drafted in the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, and now about to be drafted in the 4th round, in 7th round, and 6th round. When we look at the impact that next year, when we look at the impact this year that this NFL class is going to bring, you're not going to find another Travis Hunter. You're not going to find another Cam Ward. Shedeur Sanders has to be picked has to be drafted because if he's not drafted in this draft, I don't know what you can say about it because now you're saying Shedeur Shedeur Sanders wasn't drafted. And if he's drafted, like we seen we seen um his college teammate Travis Hunter go to the Jackson Jaguars. We seen Ken Ward go to the Houston Texans. We seen Adu Carter go to the New York Giants, which the New York Giants, they're coming. They're going to be the New York Giants as a Browns fan. I would never say this. The New York Giants, they're coming. They're going to be the come up team. They're probably going to be the surprising team this season. But I think that the Browns picks and every team's picks, like, it's every team so far has made amazing picks to me. But my Browns, officially, we're still going to be a playoff team. The Steelers, I really don't know what. Let me get the elephant out of the room. I really don't know what the Steelers are going to do because the Steelers are still waiting on Aaron Rodgers. You drafted Morrow, but I would say Morrow will be probably Morrow's the future for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Steelers are still waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make his decision. But do you take a Shedeur Sanders over Aaron Rodgers? Would you take a Shedeur Sanders and still have Morrow from Alabama who got drafted to the Steelers? Like, the Steelers have made a lot of good picks as well. Because when you look at it, you can say that this draft has been possibly an interesting draft to see. Because we're probably not going to see another Travis Hunter in a draft like this, another Cam Ward in a draft like this, another Adu Carter in a draft like this. And New York traded up to get Jackson Dart, who I don't know if Jackson Dart will start for New York. I think New York will honestly start. I don't think New York will start Jackson Dart. I think New York will start Russell Wilson or Jameis. But New York adding Adu Carter and Jackson Dart. The Browns getting Mason Graham, Quinn from Ohio State, if I said his name right. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name right. I'm sorry. Quinn, who won a championship with Ohio State in college. Like, the Browns have done good stuff. The Browns made a good football team. The thing is now, The thing is now, with all of these teams, who is the team to take Shedeur Sanders now that Akim Ward is off the board? Now that a Duke Carter is off the board? Now that a Travis Hunter is off the board? Who is the next team to either get to draft Shedeur Sanders? Because if you pass up on him, Shedeur Sanders is probably going to have the type of career, and I'm not comparing to what I'm about to say about Shedeur Sanders, because I'm going to cheer. I hope all of these players have good careers. And I'm going to cheer for Shedeur Sanders, whichever team he gets drafted to or any team he signs with. But with all of these teams passing on Shedeur, because now you have a Cam Ward in Tennessee, now you have Travis Hunter in Jacksonville, you have a Duke Carter in New York. All of these players, all of those teams, and all of these players that were in the NFL draft, I hope they have a good career. But most especially, I am hoping that Shedeur Sanders get drafted, because you don't want to leave a quarterback. I know this quarterback class, this quarterback class, this class is kind of decent with the quarterbacks, but you still got Shedeur Sanders on the board. And I think when you have to figure that out, some team is going to have to take Shedeur Sanders. Some team is going to have to take him. Because this reminds me of the Draymond Green draft. The Draymond Green, how every team passed on Draymond Green until the second round of the NBA draft. And he remembers every player that got drafted before him. Draymond Green remembers every player that got. Draymond Green in the NBA remembers every player that got drafted before him. And I think Shedeur Sanders will remember when he gets drafted, or if he goes undrafted, he's going to remember all the players that passed on him. Because let me give you guys some advice here. Is that let me give you some advice, and let me get the elephant out of the room. It's that some people will pass on you because they don't see your greatness. And I don't think that with all of these NFL teams not taking Shedeur Sanders, and now all of these teams that has a Cam Ward, that has a type Cam Ward, a kind of type Travis Hunter, a kind of like type a Duke Carter. All those type of players are taken. All of those type of players are taken. And the only best player on the board right now, in my opinion, is Shedeur Sanders. You're going to have to pick him. But guys, sub if you're new. Guys, never give up your dreams. And I hope all of you guys are safe out there. And stay blessed, everybody. In peace.